Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm actually going to be doing a video all about designing stickers, pins, enamel pins, charms, etc. I know that I mentioned a little bit of this in a video I did a few months ago on starting your own online shop and selling your artwork online, but I didn't really go into detail about the designing process of a lot of those things because I wanted to do a more in-depth video on it. So that's what I'm doing today. So if you're not aware, I have an online shop where I sell my artworks, and that includes stickers, enamel pins, charms, bookmarks, and prints, of course, and books. But today I want to focus mainly on smaller design things as opposed to taking an artwork that you've already done and getting it sent off as a print. This video is separated into different parts. And we're starting off with a little intro where I'm going to just show you guys some examples of ones that I've made before, and then show you guys the process of how I designed those products. So first and foremost, I wanted to show you guys some of the enamel pins that I'm going to be discussing the design of in today's video. So one of them is this little enamel pin of some little crayons, just like that. I also have this little one of a little ghost that I draw on my shop all the time. This is pretty cute. It's probably one of my favorites. And then finally, this little enamel pin of some hands, and they're holding like a crystal ball, and they just say, "Own your magic." And I'm also going to be showing you guys the process of how I made these sticker packs. So there's the hands holding flowers sticker pack that I have on my shop. There's the self-care sticker pack that's also on my shop. So I'm going to be showing you guys the whole design process of how I made these sticker packs, as well as the design for these two charms that are new additions to my shop this year. They're like little holographic charms. But yeah, so those are just some little examples of products that I have designed for my shop, and I'm gonna take you guys through the whole design artwork process for each and one of these. So the first thing that you're gonna want to do is actually sit down and brainstorm a little bit, do idea generation and sketches. You're gonna want to make sure that your products are simple, cute, or if cute's not really the thing you're going for, just make sure that they're nice and simple and easy to read. In the sketch, it's good to already start thinking a little bit about color, but in the idea generation stages, mainly just think about the actual design of it, lines, and the whole composition of the item that you're designing. When you're designing, try not to make it too overcrowded in just one item, because a lot of these, when they get made, they're going to be in quite a small format, so when they're in their tiny little printed out formats, they're going to still want to be readable. So make sure that it's nice and simple and clear so that it still translates well once it's been produced. So next up, cleanup and design. For the pins, I try to think of line thickness and the quote-unquote rules of enamel pins. If you don't know these very well, it's always best to go onto an enamel pin production company, and they will normally have the rules on there. The production company that I use in the UK is MadeByCooper, and they have a whole page on the set rules that they need to produce their own enamel pins, and that's the rule set that I use when designing mine on Illustrator. You have to be conscious that you need lines to separate different colors. It can be very thin lines, but you still need a sort of enamel line in there to separate the different colors. Also think about resolution and whether you need it to be a vector or in a rasterized form. For enamel pins and charms, normally vectorized formats are preferred, but for stickers and stuff like that, I normally just keep them in their rasterized form on Photoshop and send those off to print like so. You really don't need to know that much about Illustrator to make these. I am not very proficient in Illustrator. I basically just know the basics, and I pretty much do all of my enamel pins and charm designs on there. It also will help you out a lot in making enamel pins because the line thickness that you use on Illustrator is the line thickness that they will pick up on when producing the enamel pins, so that will also help out in that department. But yeah, when you're cleaning up your design and coloring it in, do think of, you know, the CMYK colors and the Pantone colors if you're doing enamel pins. Make sure that your document is a 300 dpi because you don't want it to look grainy and blurry once you send it off to print. So you want it to be at a nice big resolution for printing. Make sure your document's in CMYK because you don't want your colors to be all weird and skewed once you actually send them off to print. Normally, Photoshop documents and Procreate documents are in RGB color, but for printing, CMYK is the necessary format. So once you're cleaning up and designing your sketches, envision the final product in your head when you're cleaning it up, keeping in mind that this design is probably going to be a lot smaller than the size that you're drawing it at. So again, keep in mind that it still needs to be readable once you print it out. So again, if you don't want to be too precious about it, you can get away with not being too clean and adding a lot of detail in these, because again, they are going to be on a small scale. So even if you add a lot of detail, it's probably not going to be visible in the final product. Stickers are normally where I put more detail into because they are the biggest product that I get printed from these three that I'm showing you guys today. So those will probably come up a little bit better. But talking about charms and enamel pins, the simpler the better. Finally, when you have your design ready, you should probably head over to the printing company that you've chosen. I talk a lot about printing companies in my video I mentioned earlier, where I talk about the companies that I use and recommend in the UK and how to find your local printing company. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more about that, I definitely recommend watching that video. So once you head on to the printing company that you would like to use, make sure to read up on their templates and guidelines for submitting artwork, because that's going to be very important for the final product. Most printing companies provide templates for you to place your artwork on it, and then you send them the template and they'll do the rest for you. If not, just supply them like the most raw version of your artwork, so a Photoshop document or an Illustrator document would probably be the best, so they have access to the raw version of your artwork. For stickers, I normally like to add like a little white border around the sticker so that the design is like encapsulated in a sort of, you know, like a little border thing. So I personally like my stickers looking like that, so I add those onto a separate layer underneath the artwork. Pins and charms. Illustrator is probably your best bet in sending your artwork in. Most manufacturers do prefer vector-based designs, as I mentioned earlier, for enamel pins and charms and more physical products like that, whereas stickers is more of a printing-based product, so you can get away with rasterized documents. So make sure to use the templates provided by the printing company that you are using. They will normally give you guidelines and bleeds and stuff like that, and they'll tell you what order to put your layers in so that they can read them more easily once they get sent off to the artwork department. Follow any requirements asked by them. They normally will have like an FAQ, frequently asked questions, artwork page where they tell you what they need personally as a company in order to print off your artwork. So make sure you read up on any of those things because it's easier to double check and be extra careful before sending off your artworks than regretting it in the long run. And once that's all done, I guess you can just send off your stuff to get printed. So yeah, that's pretty much the points I wanted to make in this video. I'll show you guys here a side-by-side of what the initial sketches and the artwork process looks compared to the finished product, so you guys can have a little bit of a perspective on that. Yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got something new from it, and if you know, making stickers, enamel pins, and charms is something that you want to try doing this year, I really hope this video helped you in knowing where to start. Again, I do recommend you watch my video on how to set up an art shop and selling your products online, because I do have a whole section on there about printing companies and sending off your products to a third-party company for printing because I personally use that service instead of printing things off in my tiny little room where I don't have space. I'll leave the link to that video in the description box. I'll also leave the link in my description box to my shop if you guys want to look at some of my other products that I have on there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!